poised tonight to sign what some call the first major civil rights legislation of the 21st century. It will prohibit employers and insurance companies from discriminating against people based on their DNA. As scientists unravel the mysteries of our genetics, businesses are now offering specialized DNA services to people, hoping to discover all kinds of things about themselves. KTVU's Renee Kemp has tonight's special report.
Scientists are now able to deconstruct the building blocks of human life, and private industry is using it in unexpected ways.
The most important side of DNA, and the reason we're putting billions of dollars into research on it, is for health.
But there are new ramifications as companies seek patents on individual human genes and find profitable uses for DNA.
We're really concerned that the marketing of these technologies is getting way ahead of the science, way ahead of people's understanding of what's going on.
In many ways, the public has seen only a hint of what DNA profiling can mean. It's helped determine why some people can roll their tongues, why some can arch their eyebrows and others can't. DNA sequencing can even determine paternity. But now, even that process is as close as your drugstore shelf. Sorensen Genomics offers this $20 do-it-yourself paternity test. Submit a cheek swab with a lab fee, and in 2 weeks, the company claims you can determine who's the daddy. More importantly, DNA can determine if you're at risk for certain diseases.
The great thing about what we're offering is that we know a little bit now, but we're going to know a lot more going forward. And so what we feel this really gives people an opportunity to do is learn about genetics in a new and interesting way.
23andMe, which refers to the 23 pairs of chromosomes on the human DNA ladder, is a Mountain View-based startup company. It conducts so-called spit parties, where saliva samples are collected. And for $1,000, participants get a copy of their DNA sequence.
But some people worry that the new DNA technologies are moving so quickly that they are under-regulated and have the potential for abuse.
23andMe and 5 other companies are now being investigated by the California Department of Public Health because of consumer complaints about the price and accuracy of results. Other critics openly wonder how such companies are using those DNA results.
They may be able to make actually most of their money on the products they can develop out of the data that they collect, and that actually people are paying them to give them their data.
Critics looking at the burgeoning DNA industry cite privacy and potential discrimination as possible red flags.
I certainly think we've got to be aware of how the information is being used. So as we generate that type of information, certainly the privacy of the information is something people should be concerned about, and looking at how that information will be shared and interpreted.
Applied Biosystems in Foster City is the first company to create a machine that makes DNA sequencing quick and affordable. What used to require a full year and about $1 million now takes only a week and costs about $1,000. The company expects growing demand from individuals who want their own DNA profile. People such as Melvin Gillette, who has already spent thousands of dollars to trace her ancestry.
I'm having a hard time finding records to trace back very far. So I decided to, after I started hearing about it, and I waited about a year, and then I decided to try that.
Gillette is convinced her DNA test results trace her roots to the West African nation of Cameroon. But many genetic ethicists question how accurate DNA can be in genealogical research.
They're not going to be able to tell you with any honesty, with any accuracy, that your mitochondrial DNA ancestor came from Ireland or Senegal or Japan.
Greeley says for every good use of DNA, there's a potentially dangerous one.
Attention deficit disorder, 89% probability.
In the sci-fi movie Gattaca, people's lives and livelihoods are predetermined at birth based on their DNA profile. Most experts say the science fiction scenario is pretty far-fetched, but it's a real enough possibility that last week the U.S. Congress passed GINA, the Genetic Information Non-Discrimination Act, to prevent employers from basing hiring decisions on genetic test results. The frontiers of DNA are wide open, and the best-case scenario is that someday DNA will be used to create individual owner's manuals for every human being to help customize medicine, increase longevity, and improve quality of life. Renee Kemp, KTVU, Channel 2 News.